As people, we cling to certainty, trying to find certainty. We want to be financially certain. We want to be certain about our diagnosis. We want to be certain about being healthy. We want to be certain about why we're here. We want to be certain about politics. We have so much certainty that we feel we need. And I think it really hurts us. And I was thinking about this the other night. I was sat out just looking at the sky, looking at the stars. And I'm thinking, like, why are we here? You know, what is this all about? And I realised, I was talking to my partner, I'm like, you know, you have millions and billions of people that are so certain as to why we're here. And you have so many people certain of so many things. But really, no one really knows anything. Not really. They know as much as you do. They don't really know why we're here. And just playing with it, I took away all this certainty for a moment, you know. The certainty, I go, oh my God, the housing market's awful, never be able to afford a house. You know, that's me going, this is certainly very bad. The reality, I don't have a clue what tomorrow brings. I don't have a clue what's going to happen tomorrow, in the next year, in the next 10 years. So that little mini situation of thinking I know what's going to happen with the housing market caused me stress, and it was for nothing. I'm not certain of any of that. Anyway, I got rid of all my certainties as much as I could, and I was just looking up at the sky. And I'm looking at the stars and I'm going, this is crazy. I'm here as a human being. I'm sat where I'm sat, Buxton, the highest market town in England, let's say. I'm looking up and there's infinite space out there and these stars out there. And I'm this human on this planet that's rotating in space. I go, that's actually crazy. You know, you read Harry Potter and you go, wow, how magical. But actually, I was looking at life in a very different way. Just those few minutes, I was like, oh, you know, sometimes I get so contained with certainties of what life is and what life's supposed to be and how my life's supposed to go, and the certainty of, you know, this country and the world and all. And I build this little container for my mind, and actually causes me, it's not a healthy thing for me. And I walk back in the house, and all of a sudden, you're surrounded by walls. And depending on what kind of house you're in, they may be very big walls or small walls, but you're surrounded by walls. And I don't know if this is me, but all of a sudden, when I was in the house, I felt like things were more serious than they are. Like things feel close. And when I'm sat in the house day after day, working on my project, doing things I need to do, and always looking within a confined environment, it's like the walls are in my mind as well. Like I close in. But if I'm out in nature and there's just endless trees and fields, and maybe it's nighttime, I'm looking at the sky and everything feels so big, all of a sudden I'm not so much in my mind. I'm outside and it doesn't feel as important and as big as it does when I'm constantly in buildings and little cars and, you know, less confinement. And I could be talking absolute you know what. But I think there's something to that. I think for the majority of however long humans have existed, they've spent most of their time outside. And now with can be very confined for large amounts of time, and it can make our experience inside our body very intense. So just try it. This is what when I was at my lowest point in recovery. This is what I did. I would go outside. Maybe it would be like 7 at night, whatever time it is. Maybe I was struggling with something. Maybe I woke up in the middle of the night, and I'd just go down, sit on a chair, and just look up into space. Just breathe. I'd look up and I'd go, life is, I don't know what life is actually. I don't know what this is all about. There's a mystery to it now. And it just diffused me. And I go back inside, so much more quiet than when I woke up. And I'd go and rest. And it was just such a powerful practice for me. And I don't know exactly why that is. Or maybe it's because of my personality type, I don't know. But it definitely helped me. So just examine your life, examine little thought processes that go on in the day. You go, oh, I'm getting fibro pains really bad today, and this is it. This is my life. It's going to be like this forever. How does that help you? How do you know that? If you're so certain about your future, you're a future teller. You can make good money with that. The reality is we don't know. I felt so certain that my life would never change, and within a year, my life was completely different. I was so certain I'd never get a job, and then I applied for a bunch of jobs and got the best one of the bunch. Every time I felt so certain that things are dire, things are just never going to improve, I've always been wrong. So just examine your life, examine your thoughts, examine the things that come up for you day to day, of being so certain about whether it's never going to change, whether you're certain about the way the world is, certain about anything. Just let it dissipate. Realize you don't know what tomorrow brings.